Deion Sanders is trying everything to keep Shedeur Sanders' chin up. After Brown's QB disappointment, Shedeur Sanders isn't having the rookie season he was expecting. During the draft, he was dropped from being a predicted first-round pick all the way to the 5th round. Even after being drafted, things haven't been going his way. Despite impressing in the rookie minicamps and the OTAs, he's still not a confirmed starter for the Cleveland Browns. But guess what? There's more to it. Besides not being confirmed as QB1, there are talks about Shedeur Sanders not being on the roster at all. Yes, amidst all this uncertainty, Shedeur's father, Deion Sanders, has taken to the internet to motivate him. Being his coach and his biggest supporter throughout his college football career, Deion is also well known for being as wise as Yoda and sharing messages on social media, messages that might motivate us and at the same time give us a life lesson. This time, however, he's taken to social media to motivate his son to move forward in these tough times. Make it work, make it happen, and make it right. You can make it if you try, if you don't quit, and if you believe, he wrote, encouraging not just Shedeur, but rather everyone to just keep on going and focusing on the power of trying. And from Shedeur de V. He believes that if you keep trying, believe in yourself, and don't quit, you can make it. Whatever it is that you desire, it's going to require work, discipline, patience, and consistency, he added, emphasizing the importance of following the 4 pillars of success. And he makes a fair point. After all, you can't expect to be successful without putting in the work, with discipline and patience, and doing the work consistently. Ultimately, he wrote, you have all the intangibles to make it work, so really it's on you. And saying that it is you, your hard work, and your dedication that are going to decide how things work for you. This particularly hits hard for Shedeur, who already has everything he needs. A huge house, a good car, and a loving family. Deion essentially tells Shedeur that now it's up to him how he acts and turns things around. This is also a valuable lesson that he must remember, especially amidst everything that is going on with Shedeur, be it about his cars, his speeding tickets, or anything else for that matter. Coach Prime, while summing it all up, wrote in the caption, you have everything you need inside of you to make it. While Deion, who is himself recovering from an illness, motivates his son. But we can't deny the fact that a much more worrying update has recently arrived from Browns head coach Kevin Stefanski. Shedeur Sanders' place in danger as Stefanski remains undecided. It was just a month back and everything was looking jolly good for Shedeur Sanders after the initial draft disappointment. He was playing well, people were talking good about him, and everything just seemed to be going just fine. Until head coach Kevin Stefanski suddenly hit the brakes on Sanders' progression, and now his name is slipping down the depth chart, and chances are he might even get cut. Former Bengals receiver T.J. Houshmandzadeh, citing a source inside the Browns facility, said that the quarterback battle does not include Shedeur Sanders at this point. Houshmandzadeh said on the Nightcap podcast, I was told it's really coming down to Kenny Pickett or Dillon Gabriel. Now, when you get the reports that Shedeur's completing 7 out of 9 passes, against starters, or is it against the 3s and the 4s? There's added skepticism on Sanders' immediate future at the Browns. After all, it was reported that during the June 10th minicamp, Sanders had completed 10 to 12 passes with 2 touchdowns and shown in the 7-on-7 and 11-on-11 drills. But the key point is Shedeur reportedly started at no 4 after Gabriel, Pickett, and Flacco. Even ESPN's Daniel Ufusi later claimed that Shedeur's roster spot isn't confirmed as the team heads into training camp towards the end of this month. Meanwhile, Stefanski officially hasn't put out any update to this effect and rather openly supports both the rookies. They are both wired to get in early, stay late, put in whatever work is required, he said, talking about both the rookies. They're sponges in the meeting room, he added, clarifying that he hasn't downgraded Shedeur, but also hasn't selected him above all yet. But as the training camp closes in, expect more updates coming from the Browns quarterback room, especially about Sanders. The weight of the world doesn't always fall in a day, but for Shedeur Sanders, the NFL draft weekend felt like a slow, heavy collapse. Once projected as a top quarterback prospect, his name didn't echo through the draft halls in the way many expected. The Cleveland Browns, long rumored to be in need of a quarterback spark, passed on him, and then so did everyone else. Cameras didn't catch his face at the exact moment the final round ended, but word leaked quickly. Shedeur was gutted. And just behind him, trying to pick up the scattered pieces of his son's dream, stood Deion Sanders. Not as Coach Prime, but as dad. A father's playbook, Deion Sanders has never been one to do things halfway, whether it's intercepting passes in the NFL, stealing bases in MLB, or transforming a struggling college football program into a media phenomenon. He lives all in. But none of that could prepare him for the slow heartbreak of watching Shedeur's confidence fade. So now he's applying every tactic in his personal playbook, not from football, but from fatherhood. First, there's reframing in their private conversations, some of which Deion has teased on social media. He reminds Shedeur that Tom Brady was pick no 199. He drops the names of undrafted greats like Kurt Warner and Tony Romo like they're playing cards in a motivational deck. Son, he told Shedeur, your story just got a plot twist. But that doesn't mean it's not still a bestseller. Next is Immersion Therapy, not into pain, but into purpose. Coach Prime pulled Shedeur into off-season workouts with NFL veterans, subtly redirecting the conversation from what could have been to what's next. Deion even organized a private camp for young quarterbacks, letting Shedeur lead drills. He needed to see that people still looked up to him, Deion told ESPN in an emotional interview. Sometimes to remember you're the man, you got to feel like one again, from prime time to dad time. For all his swagger, Deion's approach as a father is surprisingly tender. He's always been fiercely protective of his children, but this time there's a new layer of empathy. He knows what it's like to be doubted. He knows what it's like to have the world expect one thing and deliver another. But this time, the stakes feel personal. In one heartfelt Instagram post, Deion shared a photo of Shedeur as a boy, holding a football twice the size of his head. The caption read, "He's been dreaming longer than they've been watching. That don't stop now." Shedeur, still licking the wounds of rejection, hasn't said much publicly, but those close to the family say he's slowly regaining his fire, not because of fame, but because of his father. From Boulder to belief back in Boulder, Colorado, where Deion still coaches the Buffaloes, there's a quiet optimism. Shedeur's returned to train, sometimes with a chip on his shoulder the size of Folsom Field. He's not sulking, he's scheming, one team assistant said. And Deion is making sure every second feels like fuel, not failure. Deion even transformed their house into a haven of motivation. Every mirror bears handwritten notes. You're not behind, you're building. They missed out, not you. The two have even started taping a new podcast segment together, not about fame or football, but resilience. It's raw, unfiltered, and sometimes emotional. One early episode features Shedeur describing the night of the draft, his voice cracking, "I felt like I let y'all down." Deion cuts in before the silence settles. "You can't let me down, son. I don't measure you by draft picks. I measure you by bounce back. No one believes like a father. The NFL didn't call. The Browns didn't bite. But Shedeur's next chapter isn't defined by who passed. It's defined by who stays. And Deion Sanders, for all his flash, has always been a man who stays, especially when it matters most. Now, he's not just coaching players. He's coaching a young man back to belief. He's running new plays for healing, drawing up routes to self-worth, and teaching the most important rule of all. You pull up. Your value isn't determined by a draft board. It's in your drive. He'll get his shot, Deion says confidently. And when he does, Lord have mercy, you'll better be ready. Because you can bench a quarterback, but you can't bench destiny. And destiny, if Deion Sanders has anything to say about it, still wears number 2.